You are now listening to Broken Line Podcast, presented by Fish Addictions TV. Broken Line Podcast is sponsored by Ice Strong Titanium Spring Bobbers, Eskimo Ice Fishing Gear, 13 Fishing, Striker Ice, Coles Resort of Bemidji, Minnesota, Aaron Eichhorst Photography.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording. So,
Aaron Eichhorst, how are you doing, buddy?
We're doing good. So we're doing another podcast, and again another guest, and we're with Anthony. And Anthony, I've known you forever, and I don't know how to properly say your last name.
Let me try first. Kleinwachter?
Nope.
Damn.
Kleinwachter. Kleinwachter.
Kleinwachter. Okay, so
Yep.
The other way sounds
now I'll know
cooler.
that forever since here I know.
Kleinwachter.
Kleinwachter. So
It's
Anthony,
the best last name for screening your phone calls for telemarketers because they always mess it up, so I know instantly.
Oh, you didn't say my name right? Okay, so you must be...
Please remove my name from your call list.
Yeah, you didn't say my name. It's the same with Eichhorst. People sitting there, Ike... They don't even say it right. I don't even know how to properly not say it, and I'm like, hang up. So looks like you're trying to sell something. Here we go. So... You are a Fish Addiction staff member. You're one of us, which is awesome. And it's good to finally get, as we go, we're going to continually get more staff members in. And I feel like you've been excited, or at least I think you've been excited to be part of the Broken Line.
He looks like he's excited.
I love talking fishing, and I love hanging out with these guys, so it was just a simple decision to get over here and do a podcast.
And you've been on, you have now recently been on Shack Talk.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep, Brew
How was
Regular
that?
Outdoors. Good.
And you did also ice fishing talk with whatever his is called now, ice fishing.
Ice Pro from Ohio.
Ice Pro
Scott
from
Albrecht.
Ohio
Yep.
for Scott Albrecht. So you've been on there as well. So you've been able to bring fishing to multiple people, whatever realm they listen to, whether that's Shack Talk or they listen to, Scotty's or ours. But now you're finally part of ours. So it's good to be able to get you in here. Even though you've been here multiple times because you've came to Bemidji to film with Fish Addictions, you're finally here to be able to spit a little bit of knowledge. And I'm awesome to have you in because our last couple podcasts, we have talked about social media content, resumes, how to get into the industry. And some of the things we're going to talk to today, it's about that. But first of all, who are you? Who is Anthony Kleinwachter? Does it? Wachter. God,
Yep.
I'm still gonna get it. Yeah, I'll get it wrong every time. Every time everyone's ever asked me that, or I've ever said it, I've screwed it up. So
That's okay. So does
people screw
everybody
my
else.
name up. It is how it is. But who are you? Let the fans know who you are and what you do, and of course we're going to break it down. So if you talk about Fish Addictions TV, we're going to break that down. We're going to break social media down. But just first of all, who are you? And it's the biggest things. Who are you?
An avid outdoorsman, like everybody on the staff. Before I think was probably old enough to be in school, if you would ask me what I wanted to do when I grow up, I wanted to hunt or fish for a living. And being a realist that I am, I went to school for a business degree in accounting and, started my career path along those lines. But I've always had that drive to be involved in the outdoors and just super passionate about it, whether it's fishing, hunting, camping, hiking, anything. Always been involved with that. And I think that probably started from a young age when my parents introduced me to the sports and my dad got me out hunting and fishing at a young age. I was very involved in the Boy Scouts, which I think is a great organization for young people to be involved in. And I really took advantage of that because there's a lot of opportunities that, the organization can offer. And I've always just wanted to be involved in the outdoors and meeting some of the other guys that were on the original Fish Addiction staff and getting to know Mike and his brother John that has Hunt Addictions. I thought it was a great idea to get involved with them and was able to get on board, when it kind of was young and really didn't have a direction, but I knew that there was always potential there for things to just get big.
So you wanted to become part of a group of people that went out and fished. And obviously where Fish Addictions is today, you didn't think that's. I mean, you might have thought, oh, it's going to be big, but you didn't think it's going to have a TV show attached and all this other stuff. You were just looking for a group of friends that loved the outdoors just as much as you did, and you wanted to get involved.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Mike, a lot of the other guys on the staff, we all have families. We all have very similar backgrounds, grew up hunting and fishing, small towns, Minnesota, North Dakota. And, it's just a great fit to be able to have a group of guys like that to spend time in the outdoors with. I mean, you can go hunting or fishing by yourself, but it's nowhere near as enjoyable as it is if you have somebody to share that experience with. And that's more of what anything is about, is just sharing the experience. And I think through Fish Addictions, we're able to do that a lot with our viewers and be able to share those experiences and, give people that feeling like, oh man, I was just there with them doing that. And that's what it's all about.
Oh yeah. Being a part of a group of guys, I mean, you get the opportunity to trade out trips. Hey, you come over here, then I'll go over there. That's super fun. And it gives you an opportunity to explore the ice belt a little bit,
I mean, when you first got involved in Fish Addictions, and we're going to talk heavily about Fish Addictions because you're one of the staffers of it, and you also have a bigger part of Fish Addictions when it comes to the company as a whole. When you first started, I mean, you were looking for that group of people that shared that same passion. But did you ever think that Fish Addictions was going to be where it is today? And what's your feelings on Fish Addictions, and roll right in the next question, which is Fish Addictions TV. Where did you think Fish Addictions was going to be when you first started, and how do you feel about it where it is today? And of course, I think we're at the lowest of what we can potentially be. So in your mind, Fish Addictions TV, where do you think it's going to be? Where do you think it was going to be when you started?
So I know from the very beginning when I met with Mike, I knew that the area that we live in is just filled with outdoorsmen and fishermen and people, and I knew there was always the potential to get more people involved. And I know when we kind of got going there for a while, we had a bigger staff, we had a lot of people involved, and we've kind of been able to get some of the guys that are more serious about that and taking it to the next level. And I think that we've been able to grow our audience and be able to reach all those people. And I always knew that potential was there. Did I know that we were going to be on TV? No. Did I know that we had the potential to shoot some awesome content, be able to, share our experiences with people? Of course. But being able to see where it is now and just the potential where it can be is pretty exciting. I mean, the fishing world that we live in is fairly small, but I don't even think we've made a freaking ripple in the puddle.
Yep. I mean, from where it started 3 years ago, actually it started like 5 or so years ago, but where we started TV fishing episode-wise in the last 3 years, I don't think we've hit the full potential of Fish Addictions TV or the full potential of TV shows or podcasts or episodes or content that we possibly could out. We're just, like you said, it's that first little ripple into that mud pile, and I think it can be way bigger than what it is. I mean, and the cool thing about just having someone like, let's say you or any of our staff with Fish Addictions, is that you guys are here to potentially bring content to the average fan. And that's a good thing about the podcast, is we're here to bring content to the average fisherman. With the Fish Addictions TV, same thing. So, I mean, with you as a staff member, and more than just a staff member with Fish Addictions, there's so much potential to deliver content, because that's what we're all in the industry for content. We're all in the industry to provide content to the average fisherman in some way, and that's what this is about. That's what
whether it's
TV show,
educational or just entertainment,
fun entertainment. Yeah, exactly. So, when it comes down to Fish Addictions TV, why? I mean, it's like that, let's just say like the NASDAQ, right? Like the, what's
Stock Exchange.
Stock Exchange, right? Like you saw a potential in a company or a stock that was little, and you decided to jump on it. Why did you jump on Fish Addictions TV when you did, when potentially there was other things you possibly could have done? And you said that's the same thing that multiple people say, like even Mike. Well, when I was little, I wanted to become a TV guy or a this or this, but you didn't see that in Fish Addictions. I don't know. So what made you jump on Fish Addictions TV in such an early baby stage compared to what it is now?
Did you know Mike prior to joining Fish Addictions?
I knew Mike a little bit. I knew his brother. I was actually roommates in college with Mike's cousin, so I knew them a little bit. I knew they'd started Hunt Addictions, Fish Addictions, and I also knew a couple of the other staffers. And having that connection already, it was a really easy decision when they were looking for more people to get on board and join it to look at that avenue. And there was also other avenues that I was looking at, even the hunting side of things. I was always involved with the hunting industry as well. And something always brought me back to fishing. I mean, hunting season's short. Fishing season is year long.
Do you prefer hunting over fishing or fishing over hunting?
It's
that's
so hard to compare.
Yeah, they're two different monsters.
I mean, I've seen your deer hunting addiction, and it's a real thing. Like you get the trail cam photos.
Yeah,
how many of our staffer meetings? I'm sitting in a tree. I'll watch it later.
Exactly.
And he's one of the main heads.
And hunting, deer hunting, being a landowner, land management, doing some of that stuff. That's a year-long process, too. We're always cutting trails, improving the land, putting in food plots. And so it's a big passion for me, being able to own land and manage it. Comparing hunting to fishing, though, it's so tough. Hunting is such a long, you put all this work in to try and hopefully reach that accomplishment at the end of the season, whereas fishing, you put in all the work in a day and you hope that you reach the accomplishment.
It's almost like just a love for the outdoors in general.
It is.
Right? Like, if someone's like, oh, do you want to go deer hunting or do you want to go turkey hunting or grouse hunting or fishing? It's like, well, I love them all because I love the outdoors.
Yeah. And it is. It's so hard for me. Before I had a family, I was gone every weekend. I was either hunting or I was fishing or I was at my cabin, doing work. I was never, when I was in college, I was never there on the weekends to go partying and doing that stuff. And, I credit a lot of that to being able to have those opportunities to go out and be outdoors. And, just going up to my cabin, I get out of the truck, I take a deep breath of that fresh air, getting out of the city. And
getting out of the city.
So is that also why because I know you bow hunt.
Yep.
You rifle hunt.
Yep.
Do you muzzle load?
I used to. I moved to North Dakota and I bought a lifetime firearms license. And in order to use that, you have to specify either rifle or muzzleloader. You can't do both. Okay. I could buy an out-of-state tag for the other season, but that's like $160.
Yeah, because I've noticed some of the guys that are really, really into hunting, they want, other than the Minnesota 3-week deal, they want a longer season, so they bow hunt and up until rifle season, then they rifle season, and then they pick the bow back up, or else they muzzle load. Just to give themselves that extra long
extended
instead
season.
of all right, I got 3 weeks to do this. So, but I totally
I've bow hunted into all the way till the end of December. I might even still have an archery tag. I might try and shoot a doe yet this year.
Do you prefer bow hunting over rifle? What's your?
I love to bow hunt because it's such an added challenge. Mm-hmm. There's when you got deer coming in, you have to prepare yourself to be ready for it. You have to fool them. You have to get within 50 yards. It's just such a challenge. Being successful at bow hunting is such an accomplishment. I do really enjoy rifle hunting. That's how I started hunting. My family all does it. We all get together up at our hunting cabin. That's when everybody's there, and being able to share that time is
there's a few
awesome
different kind of hunters when it comes down to like fishermen, right? We like the camaraderie. We like to get together with the people and go out fishing. But there's a few people in the hunting industry that do the same thing. They get together. They go to their weekend, hunting camp. They get together, they start grilling out, which I can picture you with your cousins and your friends and stuff like that, getting out, and you get to your hunting shack, and next thing you know, you're grilling out and you're going out hunting. And a big thing in northern Minnesota, I think, is the fact that people get together to do their hunting. And that's, I think, a big thing in the outdoors is, whether it's fishing or hunting, is that camaraderie aspect of getting together and sharing the love and the passion for the sport. And there's a few people out there that, I'm just going to go hunt, and they go hunt by themselves, right? But there's also a group of people like you that go out and they get together with 3 or 4 people. They get in their cabin, and that weekend or that week is that
it's not
shared
about the
passion.
biggest buck. It's not about getting anything at all. It's about, man, you know what? We didn't fill all our tags, but man, we had a good time.
Oh, for sure. And being able to, like you said, share it with friends and family, that's what it's all about. I've had more exciting hunts hunting. I took a nephew out hunting on his first youth hunt, and I had a cousin of mine shot his biggest buck. We were 200 yards apart in the woods, texting back and forth, and sharing that is super exciting. And so it's not always about me shooting the biggest deer, but it's sharing that. My grandpa, he's 73 years old, shot his biggest buck he's ever shot, and we got to share that. We watched the whole hunt go down. The deer came out, big buck, chasing does. And
this year,
awesome.
you did get 1 or 2 big deer, if I'm not correct, right?
I did shoot.
Was it bow hunting?
No, both of them were rifle hunting.
I remember we did a podcast and we talked about bow hunting, and I know because we talked about quesadillas.
Yep.
You did end up getting, I was like, you were showing me those photos we were rolling in the Fargo, Grand Forks area, whatever. And you were showing me the trail cam photos of I'm going to go deer hunting this weekend, and it's going to be great, big bucks and everything. But you didn't get one doe hunting, but you did get one rifle?
Yeah, I did shoot.
It was a decent sized one.
Yeah, I shot a really nice buck rifle hunting. Super fortunate to get it. I mean, not for lack of trying, because I spent plenty of time in the stand, but it all comes down to being in the right place at the right time, and
that's hunting.
Putting in the time. I mean, it's no different than fishing. It's all about putting
duck hunting,
in the time.
deer hunting, turkey. It's the same thing. You got to put in your time. And you also got to be in the right time, the right place, and the right time.
Exactly.
So I mean, being that the fact that the ice shows, sports show season have now been kind of ended within the last 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, in Minnesota anyway.
In Minnesota,
got Milwaukee ripping right now.
Yeah. So what was your favorite thing about sports show season? Because of course, in sports show season, it's a job. You're out promoting. You're out getting stuff done. But what was your favorite thing? Like, we did the ice show. We talked about that last podcast. We talked about the ice show season, different things, giveaways. What was your favorite thing? What was your favorite thing about the couple? Because you did Fargo?
Yeah, I was at Shields Ice Fest in Fargo for
and
a day, St. Paul Ice Show.
So what's the biggest thing for the people that are out there listening to sport that haven't gone to sports shows? What's the biggest thing you could say from a person being at the sports show, from a selling point of view or just a helping point of view? What's the biggest thing for sports shows that you can give away to the people who have never been to one?
So for anybody that's never been to one, it's the best place to get a deal on anything in the ice fishing industry. I mean, we seen at the St. Paul show, they were beating Black Friday prices. They're always looking to make the sale. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty ridiculous, to be honest. So there's always great deals. There's always the new products. Mm-hmm. They always have them there. I mean, some of the retailers sell out super fast, but if you get to the shows, they're going to have them there. But for us, I think we're super fortunate. I wish we had more time to just spend time with people in the industry. That's my favorite part about the ice show. I mean, whether you're with Fish Addictions, you're one of our sponsors.
You're talking about consumers, or you're talking about other people like in other TV shows, pro staffers, like that kind of thing?
Well, both. I love to meet our fans for Fish Addictions, of course, but being able to meet with other people in the industry, that's
what we talked about. That was probably our favorite thing.
Other professionals, other friends.
We talked in the last podcast that I think some of our favorite memories was just being able to go and hang out with the other staffer from Clam, Frable, all that stuff that we're friends with, that we only get to see 1 or 2 times a year.
Right. It's basically a giant family reunion for everybody in the ice fishing industry. Awesome. And you have a good time. You share a few stories. Obviously, we don't get to spend near enough time with those people at the shows because everybody's got their own commitments and dinner reservations and different things. But it's so much fun to be able to just say hi, how are things going, talk about, hey, I've seen you doing this, and keep doing the great work, and being able to kind of share a little bit of that kudos back and forth with the people in the industry that you look up to, they look up to you, and mutually respect. I mean, we're all in it for the same game. I mean, we're all here to share an experience. And
well, and that happened to me today at L&M when I had my in-store there. I'm there working for 13 and Eskimo, and I'm pushing fish houses and we're selling stuff, and I had people come up and ask me about some clam stuff, and just happened to be one of my best friends in the whole world was there, Matty Brewer. And he sent some people to me. We're all there for the same thing. You know, it's fun, and we actually snuck off to the side for a few minutes and
while you were eating fish.
While we were eating fish,
it was crazy because I was looking at social media. I'm like, oh, L&M here, L&M there, fish fry. It's like, oh, Cabela's, and it's like, you know, you follow the Fish Addiction Snapchat, and it was 7-8 different locations from Cabela's to Milwaukee to, you know, I don't know where the exact name. What was the name that Taylor was at?
Stripes.
Yep.
Up in it was Warroad, there. Yeah. L&M and Cabela's, and it was like, it was cool to be able to just. We're there for the people that need the common questions, the common answers, and
that's
of course
my
the
favorite
giveaways.
Part. You know, somebody comes up to me and they're like, "Tell me about this product." They just want some information. At that point, I'm not. If they want to buy it, great. I don't push that. I just try to give them the best and most current information available, so they can make a smart choice.
We go to,
it's super fun.
Let's just say we go to Eskimo Pro Day and we learn all about the new products and stuff like that, and then you go to L&M, let's say, and those people that average consumers, they're coming in, they're like, I've heard about this on social media or wherever, but I don't know a whole lot about it. And then that's where you step in. You're like, I can tell you as much of stuff that I know about this.
It's also a great way to refine your quick answers for stuff you don't know about, and it still kind of makes sense. Like today, I had a guy come up, why are the inside of these fish houses black? I kind of looked at,
Which ones are black?
All of them. Well, like
our
Eskimo pop-ups.
Grizzly is gray.
The Grizzly is gray, but like he was specifically talking. I should refine the Eskimo pop-up series.
What's the you said you sold out of every one of what?
The 3i.
The 3i. So, and
it's a great introductory shack for somebody looking for the first shack.
And when we were out of them. They're like, okay, well, tell me about this one. So we went right down to the 949i. Yeah. It's bigger? I'll take it. Okay.
Best-selling Eskimo pop-up there is.
I'm the type of person where, like that Grizzly, like by Eskimo, that's like the most compared shack to an otter or to a clam. Like when I see that Grizzly, I think of, I don't want anything else but that Grizzly. Yeah. And that's just me, but you got the starter, you got, there's different sets.
Probably my favorite incident today was there was a young mom with 2 boys. Dad was somewhere else or working or something, and they were going to buy a Christmas present for Dad. But she was debating whether to get the thermal or the non-thermal. And I said, well, are you going to take your young boys out fishing? Oh, absolutely. I said, chances are you're probably not going to be taking them out into some extreme temperature, where it's -10 or -20. It's going to be a nicer day. It's going to be a lot because these boys we're talking like 3 and younger, these 2 boys. And she ended up getting a non-thermal, which I told her that would be totally fine because, like I said, you're not going to be taking those young boys out into these extreme temperatures. And she was really tickled with it. I think price point was a big issue for her because it took her about an hour and 20 minutes of just walking around. And that was her final question because I was like, can I help you? Do you have any other questions? Do I get the insulated one or the not? And that's when I realized that they're going to be taking these young boys out. And like, I have a 4-year-old daughter. I'm going to take her ice fishing, but I'm not going to take her out when it's -10. It's going to be, 25.
It's a hard decision, though, because you live in Minnesota. Like, it's cold.
It is cold.
So you have to make that rational decision. Do you want thermal or do you not want thermal? Do you want insulated or do you not want insulated? Because
I'll always have thermal.
I'll always want insulated, too, because you can always just undress, in my mind. But there are circumstances.
And another selling point, too, for the thermal that I've mentioned to a few people, too, is we all have sat in an ice house and been rained on.
Yeah.
And the thermal does help with that, but that's usually only when it's super cold out and you're blaring the heater trying to stay warm and you're melting ice in the fish shack.
You wouldn't have young kids out in that. So that's why I was like, go ahead and get yourself the non-thermal. It'll be just fine. I'll get you out of the wind if it's there and you'll be warm. You could put a heater in it and be warm.
You got to
Now-
break down how many people are going to go out in negative
Right.
20, 30, 40 degrees anyways.
And that's the nice thing. There's basically a product for every person,
Yeah.
every person's need, every person's budget.
Yeah, there's an option. And what
Right.
do you want? What's your option? And if that's their choice, then that's the option that they went down. That's totally fine.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we're going to get into like the nit and grit of why I think you're a great person to be on here. Is you're the social media manager for Fish Addictions TV. So what that entails is you crush and rock all social media for Fish Addictions and for your personal self. So we've been asked a lot in the last 2 weeks, from the St. Paul Ice Show to afterwards to private messages, people asking us, well, how do I get more involved in the outdoors? What do I have to do for my social media, etc.? So what does it take to be a social media content creator? And we're going to content creator because after Sam Moore's podcast, I like the definition of content creator. So
For sure.
what does it take to be a social media content creator for a business in the industry? Because there's so many people out there that are like, well, I want to up my social media game. I'm not part of a group. I'm trying to do this on my own. And we went through last podcast singly where we talked about, well, here's this. We had people that message us and like, okay, we read through the messages and we're like, okay, this is what we would do. So coming from a person who strictly is like the social media content creator for a company, what does it take to become someone in your shoes? How do people maybe get into your shoes? And this is good for our staff too, because they can listen to, well, this is what we do, and some of our staff might not know. So what does it take to become a content creator? What does it take to be someone in your shoes? Why do you do it? Just hit social media in the industry. It's a big,
We'll wrap it up into a nutshell.
yeah. We got time. We got time.
No, it's good.
This and a couple of like two or three more questions are our big questions of the day because only because people have asked us frequently in the last 2 weeks.
I've been asked it multiple times, how do I get started? Where do I even begin? And the biggest thing that I always tell people is just do more. Take more pictures, take more video.
We said last podcast.
Take advantage of everything that's out there.
There's not enough content.
You can never have too much content.
Oh man, that's like
I've
that's what I said.
I've got thousands of pictures, hours of video that I've never edited, but there's always that time when you're like, oh, I need this or I need something for this, and you're able to kind of go back and pick something out. And people always look at me and they're like, man, you're always fishing. No, I'm not always fishing, but when I go fishing, I take enough pictures and I spread them out over the course of a week or 2 weeks until I'm going to go on another fishing trip. Mm-hmm. I don't just take and do one post and put 15 pictures.
You get enough content to supply a certain period of time.
Exactly. And by getting more content, it doesn't mean that you need to put out more content on your social media because people will get bored of it.
That's exactly what we said last time too.
Right.
So less is more when it comes to sharing.
Don't overdo your content.
Now, when
but
you talk
get enough
about-
of it.
When you talk about content, what I think a lot of people are going to want to know, what kind of content? There's just straight up, hey, I'm fishing. There's product. There's
The
what else?
funness of eating Buffalo Wild Wings.
So
that
when
kind
you're
of stuff.
when you're cataloging all this content, are you? Well, I want to get a couple of product shots this outing, and so on and so forth. Let's break that down.
So I'm lucky and fortunate to work for Fish Addictions and some great companies. So I'm always trying to look at what I haven't done recently. Like, last time I was out, I got some great shots of my Eskimo stuff. Well, this time maybe I'll focus on 13 Fishing or Acme Tackle. So I'm always trying to take a little bit of time because, obviously we're out ice fishing, we're out fishing. You're not going to change wardrobes 4 times in a day.
Right.
It'd be great if we could because then we keep everybody happy. But I know I've got Eskimo stuff on today, so I'm going to take pictures of my Eskimo auger, my fish house, and do some of that stuff. Next time I go out, I'll grab a different sweatshirt and I'll take some pictures for that company. Right. And try and just taking the time to know who you're taking pictures for. And then for Fish Addictions, I know I've always got some stuff that's maybe not necessarily sponsor or product driven where I'm going to take some fun stuff with Fish Addictions or, I love to take nature photos and, pictures outdoors and any kind of content that I can share with people being able to provide that unique perspective, a first snowfall, a great sunset, northern lights. I mean, all of the things that Aaron, rocks out over there.
I love nature stuff. It almost doesn't have to be about fishing in a sense, as long as you're providing content in some way.
Right.
And you've started using, and some of our staff are starting Hootsuite, so you can schedule posts. So it's like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to schedule 3 posts at this time, and this time, and that allows for you to have an even amount of content through that day without having to burden your day of being, I got to be on my phone. You could wake up in the morning or the day before, and you can say, all right, these 3 or 4 posts I'm putting out at these specific times, and it works because you're putting a great amount of content out for this, just the general public in general.
Right.
And I have absolutely loved in the last couple months how you have started to formulate that plan, because you're putting out a decent amount of content, but not an overwhelming amount of content.
Well, and that was the first thing, when I got involved with managing some of the social media for Fish Addictions, is I said, well, first off, when I first got involved, there was nothing. I mean, our last post was a month ago, and we didn't have Snapchat, we didn't have an Instagram, we didn't have a Twitter, and I knew there was the huge potential to reach all these people. I mean, I was on it, everybody's on it, you got to catch the wave and ride it. And I told Mike right away, I said, well, we need to do this, but I don't want to just blast stuff out.
Especially if you have 12 staff members, that they're able to provide content for you to help benefit, the social media game. We've talked in the last couple podcasts about upping your social media game, but not doing it overwhelmingly, right? Like putting out stuff where it's just like, oh my God, so that guy just shares. There's no break in it, or he doesn't write anything. It gets overwhelming. Then you look at that guy and you're like, I should almost delete this guy because he overpowers.
And that's annoying. The thing. I look at what I like to see on online and on Facebook or wherever. If I see a company and they're posting 7-8 times a day, it's like, oh, this is too much. I'll unfollow them. So I look
3
at
to
it
4 is a happy medium.
Right. I look at it in that perspective where what would I want to see on social media? And that's where I start,
And we talked last podcast about the memes. We've had a few memes in the Fish Addictions realm that you've created that have been... it's gone.
People love their memes.
It's gone out, man. Like the Yoda one, the only flag that I kneel for, all that good stuff. Like you have put out a great realm of fun. I would say memes are more of that fun type of content, and you have put out a great amount of memes that have actually they've blown up. They've gone out there, And I also told him, I was like, yeah, there's a few people that they'll save the meme and they'll post it as their own. And I'll be looking through, I'll be like, that's a Fish Addictions meme that was sent out by their own. And I told him, I was like, that kind of twerks me off a little bit. But that was, it's good.
Everything's fair game once it's online.
Yeah,
so.
And it's a meme. The second you start seeing watermarked memes, the memes are dumb.
Yeah.
They're bad.
And it is. It's really... I mean, it's weird. Like 2 years ago or something, seems like when memes really started to get going, and we didn't really get involved with it a lot with Fish Addictions. And then last year, we posted a meme, and I posted it at like 6:00 on a Sunday, and within an hour, it had like 1,000 shares and like 600 likes, and I'm like, this is the simplest meme ever. It's been a year since we did that, and I think when I was on last, it had reached like 1.5 million people.
I think it comes down to the fact that people just love content, and even funny content and fun content. It's like, you see on like Ice Fishing Minnesota, Ice Fishing Connections, Ice Junkies, that kind of stuff. That's a good place where you start to see some of the stupid drama start to form. And when they see stuff like memes come through, like I'm waiting, like the Yoda, I'm waiting for ice. That one was awesome,
right?
And people love that kind of stuff. So, I think a good start for people getting into social media content is to be able to break up your average post to not be 100% serious, not be 100% fishing reports. To break it up with some fun stuff like memes, and to pick your content wisely and don't overdo it.
Right. I mean, you don't need to share all your own pictures all the time. Go to an outdoor page, even if it's, not even fishing related. Like I follow hunting pages that I really enjoy. And once you see a video or something that's meaningful, share it. But you don't have to share every funny meme you see. You don't have to share every product that you like. Or
I know when about a year ago when I first started working into hardcore social media, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I worked in the resort side of things. I started working with some of the people that worked hardcore in resorts and social media, and they were the type of people that were like telling me, what you should do is you should jump onto other pages and take their content and share it through yours, even if it's not your content, and that helps a lot. And I was like, and then I saw it happen, and I was like, absolutely. So what you just said is being able to take that like content from other companies or other Facebook pages and to be able to share it, even though it's not your content, you're still providing good content. And
exactly.
It goes both ways in a sense, but with the person we talked about in the last podcast, it's one of those situations where you don't want to overdo it, but you want to provide content in the best you can for social media. So with you being a social media person in the industry, it's good to be able to hear what you have to say on a subject like this, because there's so many people that want to be in your shoes. And what we said in the last podcast is it's be able to take something and run with it on your own page and make a name for yourself. So if you weren't with Fish Addictions and you were doing the same thing, like I would be drawn to you because, oh my God, look at the content you're putting out. And it's great. It's funny. It's legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's strong. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. Well, and going back to like I said, content. So you got an individual that wants to start getting into the industry, and his favorite ice fishing rod happens to be a 13, a tickle stick, but he knows that there's a bunch of other content for that. How would he go about? You still create content because everybody's eye for photos and video and product description is a little bit different. So a person shouldn't shy away from something that's already quote unquote popular, right?
Exactly. What you got to do is look at it in a different perspective. Everybody has a picture of them holding a rod, holding a fish, taking a picture.
There's thousands of people all trying to do the same
Grip
thing.
and grins. Everybody does it. They're great. You catch a good fish, grip and grin. But try and figure out how to do it differently. Different angles, different shots. And I force myself to do this all the time. Like, how could I take a picture differently that's going to make it cool or stand out?
Yep.
And, oftentimes Aaron knows you got to get down, lay on the ice, and take a picture. Figure out a way to mount a GoPro somewhere.
Even if it's making a meme out of it. You're taking a normal photo of, let's say, a tip-up, which would just be like, that's a boring just photo of a tip-up. And the one that we've shared, that you did the meme of this is the only flag that I kneel for, all of it, that was just a boring old straight photo of a tip-up, but you made it into a meme, and it went viral.
And you have to follow those trends. I mean, I knew that was a trend. I happened to see another post that was similar to that or along those lines. And, being able to follow the trends on what's going on in the industry, what's going on in the world. I mean, being able to do some of that, but not necessarily get involved with it because nobody wants to get involved with what's going on in the world. That's why that's why we hunt and fish is to get away from what's going on in the world. But being able to know how to kind of jump on some of those trends and get people's attention. People are always alert to what's going on, and if you can kind of jump on that bandwagon.
If you had one tip to put towards someone that's 20 years old that is not involved in the fishing industry but wants to be from a social media perspective, what would it be? What should they do to get their feet into the doors of the outdoors, the door industry? What would it be?
It's got to be video. Learn how to edit video. I mean, everything...
Visual content, photos, videos.
Yeah, but
that's what sells stuff.
Even photos, I mean, the more and more you look at anything online or social media, there's so many more videos than there used to be. Yep. And when people see that little play button and it's something interesting that they read the little subtitle or the caption for it, they're like, well, that's really interesting.
That was
but
one thing we
I can't see what this picture is. I got to hit play.
That was one thing we pointed out in the last podcast, is that if you're going to share something, put some sort of structure in the text to make people want to read it and make people want to press play. And we talked about the Eskimo Pro Day. If you're just going to click share, but you're not going to actually put some physical content to that post, it doesn't hit the same as if it would if you put.
Oh, for sure. I sit on my phone and go through social media, and I literally just scroll. And until I see something that catches my eye, or, that's somebody I know that puts out good stuff, I'll go back to that and look at it. I mean, there's so much stuff out there. I mean, to be able to get somebody's attention is half the battle.
I think you had a great answer with video. I'm with you on video. Photos are great, but, man, with the affordability of drones, the affordability of 4K, the affordability of these action cameras, these GoPros and Sony action cameras,
even
the video on your cell phones, it's ridiculous. You can, sky's the limit.
Slow motion, time lapse, hyperlapse.
That's all
you can
built
do
in.
that on your phone now. It's
it's all built
you used to. Aaron knows as an editor, you used to take and do all these pictures, and you had to edit it in a program to get a time lapse to look cool. You push a button and you set the phone somewhere.
Set the camera somewhere, press the button, and it takes your time lapse.
It makes it so much easier.
But there's still the edit, and that was a key thing I think you said too, was learning how to edit your videos.
Not every structure of a video needs to be professional. There's a lot of stuff you can provide for content-wise off your phone that isn't, like, I'm going to look at it and be like, well, that's not professional, but forget that. It doesn't need to be professional because they're delivering some sort of content that doesn't need to be professional,
right.
Like a fishing report,
right.
Which is the next thing I have on here is fishing reports. Is how can fishing reports benefit the average person? You do fishing reports like almost weekly, all winter long. And one of the people that messaged us for last podcast, they talked about fishing reports. How can someone benefit off a fishing report from your point of view? People hear it from us, but I want to hear it from you. Like I said, we talked about last podcast, you can get the wireless mic, or not the wireless mic, the mic that plugs in, that clips to you to get great audio. You can film it off here. Fishing reports isn't about quality as much as content, about providing content. So fishing reports from you, what does that entail?
Not only fishing reports, but anytime I'm reading something, I'm talking to someone, or fishing with someone, I'm always learning. And if you can pick out one small little detail from somebody's fishing report and you're like, maybe I could try that, or maybe that'll work on my lake, or I never really thought about that. Like, talk about getting nerdy on your podcast when Bob was in here and he was talking about the trees and the substructure of the lake. And I'm like, I've never thought of that before. Mm-hmm. But now when you get on a lake, you look around and you're like, oh, there's pine trees there. There's poplar trees over there. There's probably somewhere in the lake right there where the bottom is different. And it's like,
I'm the same way.
That's so nerdy. But like to pick up that little thing from a podcast that...
Yeah.
To be able to apply that and use it.
The thing with fishing reports is people aren't looking for some high quality content. They're looking for information to help benefit their, I'm going to Lake Bemidji or Devil's Lake or Lake of the Woods. I'm going there this weekend. This just came out 2 days ago. And this is how the quality, the lake, the ice, that they're not looking for it to be some professionally done video. They're looking for...
It's more about the information.
The information and content.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. And if you're looking for a trip, I go back last year and look at somebody's report from somewhere 2 years ago. I've dug through forums 4, 5, 6 years ago to get information because it's out there. It's there forever. Until somebody takes it down, I guess. But there's so much information out there for people. It just takes a little bit of time to do it and find it. And, as far as the videos goes, everybody has a story to tell. It doesn't matter how you capture that story, whether it's on a cell phone, whether it's on a TV production
even
camera.
Even if it's just audio.
Exactly. There's a story to tell, and just make it your own story and be unique. Don't try to copy people. Those are the people that you see in the industry that are, trying to make a name, but they're just doing what everybody else is doing. Right. And when somebody's doing it differently, it just stands out. So,
and we've talked about our staff members getting more involved in this because there's lots of people in the professional industry that have made a name of themselves because of, fishing reports. I mean, from your perspective, if someone wants to start to do, a fishing report, what would be your tip? Because you've done it before. So what would be your tip to someone who's like, yep, I'm an average Joe, I'm 20 years old, I have a cell phone, I live in Minneapolis, Brainerd, whatever. What would be something you would tell them to start out in doing podcasts? Where should they post the videos? Should they film it off their phone? Should they get a microphone? What lake should they hit? Should they hit a county? Should they hit a lake chain? Should they hit a specific lake? What do you think?
Don't be afraid to share your information. You've seen it online before where there's guys that are selling their waypoints. A waypoint's only as good as it was when you were out there using it.
Right, exactly.
They change. I know that small lakes get hit hard and you're not going to want to give away that information, but be as specific as you can, but don't be afraid to share, what you were doing. And, just tell me what I can't see. You can do a video.
That's a good way to put that.
Tell me how deep the water is. Tell me what the water clarity was like. Tell me what structure you were fishing. I can't see that from a picture or a video.
Right.
Tell me what I can't see. Don't tell me what you were using. I saw you pull it out of the fish's mouth. I know what you were using.
Right.
Little details like that. That's what makes the big difference. And being able to post that, post it on your page. Contact. There's so many different groups that are always looking for content. Target Walleye. I would love to see fans of Fish Addictions post fishing reports on our page. I don't care if they look good or not.
We have that contributor program in a sense that does the same thing.
I like his idea of getting the fans involved.
Exactly. I want to know where you're at. I want to know what you're fishing. Because if there's one little detail from your fishing report that can help me the next time I'm out on the water, it's 100% worth it.
The problem is you go on like Ice Fishing Connection or Ice Fishing Minnesota, and all it is, I saw a photo today. We drove our vehicle in the lake. Let the haters begin. That kind of thing. Like, how about you, instead of putting out stupid stuff like that, you put out stuff like informational stuff, like a fishing report. And I would love to see people, you're a fishing show, so we don't want to post stuff too. I would actually love to see people post their own fishing reports wherever they are in the ice belt to us, so we can share it to our fans and say, hey, we got 45,000 fans. Hey, listen here. This is where this guy's fishing in the Brainerd area.
Yeah, I think we might.
I could see the wheels turning in his head right now. He's like, I'm going to make a post tonight.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I would love. We're always looking for the next adventure, the next place to go fish. If you share a video to our page and you're pounding like 8-pound walleyes out of some little pond that you have access to, you're probably going to get a phone call.
And again,
us.
you don't have to say the lake that you're fishing, but what it took to get the fish. What was the water clarity? What was the ice thickness? What was the structure, etc. Yeah. So anyone listening and you want to help out or get your content out there, contact the Fish Addictions, message us on Facebook, and say, hey, this is the fishing report I have. Videotape yourself. Landscape, of course. That's the biggest thing with me. Landscape, of course. Videotape yourself in a good audio. If it's too windy, go somewhere that's not windy. Videotape yourself and say, hey, I am in the Detroit Lakes area, and the lake quality is this. The water, it's clear. Structure this, structure that. Don't have to say the lake that you're on, but we're okay with you provide us content. We'll even throw your name out there, and we'll throw it out there and say,
one more thing to put in there.
This is what works.
Under how long? Minute and a half? 2 minutes?
Yeah, don't make it long.
I'm like you. I just want the information. I don't want
simple.
I don't want a 7-minute report.
Don't make people be bored.
Right.
With it.
Just give me the facts.
We should almost Fish Addictions. We should almost start a fan, because we do a Fish Addictions report where we have our staff that report. We should almost start a Fish Addictions fan report. Fan report where you get 3 or 4 fans that send content in, and then we build a video, and that's the fan report video, and we go and send people. Of course, we don't want to send people to. We don't want to put out information that's on a bad ice. We want people to be safe, etc. So there are restrictions with what we ask for, but I like the idea of being able to say, hey, send Fish Addictions, don't Broken Line, send Fish Addictions TV or Fish Addictions Facebook message saying, hey, here's the video link I have. What can you do with it? Dropbox it, whatever. And you're almost being a content creator for us, and now you're a part of Fish Addictions.
Yeah, everybody wants to share. They want to share their
your
pictures. They
Google
want to
Drive
share
just
their
got real
videos.
big.
I mean, we just did a post on Instagram the other day. It said, here's a picture that one of our fans sent us. Share your picture with us. And we got a ton of great pictures from people. And
So if someone was going to send us a video report, where should they send it?
just message it to us.
Just
I think we
Facebook message us, and then we'll figure out if it's
if we can get it off a
quality,
Messenger, we'll do it that way. If there's a different way that we need to go
like
about
I said,
getting
quality
it.
doesn't matter as long as the content's good. And if you
You'll
want
write
to
a
be,
post.
if you want to be a content creator to help push your area in a fishing report, that's awesome. You want to get a Fish Addictions hat off our store, wear it, and be part of Fish Addictions, but you're a content creator, love it. Love
Oh,
the idea.
for sure. I mean, the more people that we can get involved with that type of thing, the more content that's out there, it just makes everybody a better angler.
What if Fish Addictions became the ultimate fishing report go-to
Right.
in the whole state of Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, whatever, the whole region, where we got 30, 40, 50 people a week sending us.
It'd be amazing. I
Man,
mean,
we're
there's some
breaking
great
something
sites.
here if it's good.
There's some great sites out there. I mean, Target
Take it
Walleye
easy,
always
Terry.
puts out good information.
Well,
Angling Buzz.
I'm
But
thinking like those type of people, like Angling Buzz, Target Walleye. Those two people don't always take the fans. That's
no,
like
it's
the pros.
the pros. And obviously, I take the pros word a little bit better than, some people's. But
Absolutely, but
you
if
know that
gotta-
they probably got the report from somebody that they know, or
Yeah, but if you got a
someone
dude
that
in-
works for them.
If you got a dude in St. Cloud who is an average fisherman, and he's like, yeah, here's the video of me checking ice. Here's the thickness. Here's the structure. Here's this. Here's this. I provided you with legit content because they want to be a part of what we have. And there you go. Like Angling Buzz and that, Target Walleye, that's more pro style. Well, what if we offer some sort of outlet for fans to be able to take their step into the outdoor industry and provide content to us to get their name out there, but also their location. Next thing you know, we got 5 guys from Wisconsin, 5 guys from South Dakota, 5 guys from North Dakota, and they're all providing content. And they're like, hey, if anyone wants to know what this is, here it is.
Right. And as much as everybody's looking at how they can get involved in the industry, there's sponsors and they're just looking for the next great person to be a sponsor of their products. They're looking for people that know what they're doing, are able to, talk on camera, be able to sell their product. And, it doesn't have to be you have to bash another product, but they're always looking for people that are great in the industry. As much as you're trying to get in, they're looking for great people too. So there's plenty of opportunities.
And I've said multiple times, there's 1,000 people, more than 1,000 people on this line. So you need to be above that line, and you need to provide content and
You need to
stand
break
out,
that
stick
line.
out, break that line. Oh man, look at you go! You need to break that line and get above them and figure out why you are unique and different, and not someone that just takes a picture on the ice and sends it to a company and says, "Hey, look at here,"
So
And
got that Minnesota mating call, the winter mating call, the cough.
The cough.
That's what I just named it right now. Minnesota mating call.
You have to be something different, and if it's as simple as us opening an outlet door for people to provide content for fishing reports after the last 3 podcasts where we've talked about fishing reports, that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
So we should
everybody
think of
that's on our
something for that.
staff, we didn't start from anywhere. I mean, so if we can provide that opportunity to somebody else to get involved, I mean, everybody wants to be on TV, but you have to start somewhere, and being able to produce some content and be able to share that, that's how you make a name for yourself. So
Absolutely.
And staying consistent. Being
Absolutely.
professional.
Do you
Yeah.
want to do that next one?
Oh, go ahead. I'm
So
just hanging
you
out.
are not only a social media guru and part of one of the top people in Fish Addictions TV, and we always talk about everyone in Fish Addictions TV. We're a family. We're pretty much on the same level, but you do the social media content. You also are staff members to 13 Fishing,
Yep.
Eskimo,
Yep.
Acme,
Correct.
and then Fish Addictions TV.
Yes.
So, you being a staff member of those 3 companies that are on your arm right there, with how much content we've provided in the last 2 podcasts where people have asked, well, how do I become 13 staff, Eskimo staff, Acme staff? You're a part of those staff. So, this is perfect. Tell me some inside scoop on someone that and we've kind of gone over this in some of the last couple of questions, but let's say someone wants to become a staff member or a pro staff. And again, we've talked about it, promotional staff, not professional staff, pro staff, right? So how do someone become part of those companies or any companies that are out there? Is there something specific you go through?
Step one,
like literally ground base,
I know
right?
the answer.
There isn't it National Pro Staff. There's an organization out there. I think I got involved with it. I think it's called National Pro Staff. They have a website. You can sign up. It's free. You can pay more money, but they're always posting on there looking for pro staff. I don't necessarily suggest that because you don't want to be representing products that you've never even used before or don't necessarily believe in. So there is that avenue, but take the products that you use all the time or that you really believe in. You think they're the best.
That's with pro staff is that
Right.
it's a piece of equipment or company that you truly believe in. So if you do want to go the route of doing that National Pro Staff, whatever that is, I'm not aware of it, but if there's a
I've heard of
website,
it.
Yeah, there's a website. They have opportunities. Sometimes it's new companies that haven't even started yet, and they're just
so it's
looking to make
basically
a name for
companies that are
themselves.
looking for
Yeah,
staff members.
and that you might be able to find companies that you already use their products and be like, oh, they're looking for pro staff. Let's check it out. And
That's
And a
almost-
lot of these companies don't announce that. And from my personal experience prior to Fish Addictions, I just emailed, hey, I am so-and-so, and I would like, if there's an opportunity open for a promotional staff position, I would like to apply for that.
And you have to approach it that way. You don't email someone and be like, hey, put me on your pro staff so that I can represent you. It's what can I do for you, not what can you do for
that
me.
website that you talked about is almost the negative way to go about it because you shouldn't want to just add logos to your jersey or add logos to yourself without physically doing. If you had 5 companies on this website that were looking for staff and there were 5 companies you used daily all the time, you should probably pick the 5 companies you use daily all the time because you're providing content. I feel like you're undergoing that shark perspective of trying to get those other companies if you don't truly believe in them or run them, almost because you want to just throw their logo on their jersey.
Right. And I
That's a
know
bad
it might be hard to get involved with maybe some of the companies that you really like or really believe in. And if you go about finding a product that you use or you think, oh, that's a really cool product, let me see if I can use it and get involved. I mean, everybody has to start somewhere, and if you can get involved with a company and be able to rock it, I mean, put out, say they want 5 pictures a year and you to do something, and you're putting out like production quality videos and you're putting in all this editing and know all this information, they're going to be like, whoa, this guy knows what he's doing.
And what I've seen or what I've noticed and what I've done is some of the smaller companies, the guys that are also trying to make a name for themselves with their custom jigs. A lot of these guys don't have the opportunity or the finance because they're putting all their money into developing their product to have legitimate marketing going on. So that's where it's essential for guys like us, or a fisherman, be like, hey, I've been buying your jigs. I really, really like them, but I've noticed that you need a little help in the social media world, and I think I could help you out with that. Because here's what I've done. I've went out and I've shot video using your jigs. I've shot a lot of pictures. I've caught some really nice fish. You're welcome to use these photos. So let's start a relationship.
Exactly. Get your foot in the door somewhere.
And it doesn't always have to be with some giant company.
And it might be the fact that you're like, 13 Fishing is looking for staff members, and I don't use 13 stuff, but that's okay. I believe in 13 stuff. It's because you have a rod, and there's 75 different rod companies out there where it's like, well, I'm hardcore in social media, and I'm just using, JT rods, but I'd love to use 13 rods, and they're looking for staff members. I would love to promote them. Then bounce on it. Let's go. Let's do this. If you're willing to hard do it, but I think go with what you currently use if you believe in it. Because you bought that JT rod or that 13 rod because you, I'm guessing, truly believe that.
Right.
It's
What
an
I'm
awesome
talking
rod.
about is like actually just getting started.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to contact Joe Below from Joe Below's Custom Jigs out of Stillwater, Minnesota, out of his basement, than it is to get a hold of the head guys at 13 or
So start with low companies, you're saying, or
smaller companies that
are trying to
that
get
you
on.
can tell that are trying to really, break in through to that next level of their business. You can help them get their business level up to where they want it to be.
Yeah, there's
You
so
see what
many
I'm saying?
opportunities.
I mean, if you love the fishing industry, jump into the right path that you think
Right.
it is.
And I know you guys
rock it.
talked about building your fishing resume. I mean, put your accomplishments down if you're a tournament fisherman or if you've, put together media before, just an average guy that loves to take good pictures. I mean, put some of that information together and send that to him and be like, here, hey, I'd like to do your products. This is why I think that I'm a good fit for your company. What can I do for you?
Right. Yep.
I think there's a lot of companies out there, especially the smaller ones, that are always looking for help.
Of course.
And if you can help them in a positive way, but don't just help them. I mean, positively believe in what they're trying to do. Don't just try to, I don't know if I'm trying to say it correctly, but believe what they're doing and try to help benefit them. Don't just try to use them to get into another.
Well, I'll just
stepping stone.
be real. I mean, I've been with Jeff's Jigs and Flies for several years. Jeff hand makes these jigs in Two Harbors in his basement. He quit his regular full-time job as a holiday gas station manager to start his jig company. I saw his jigs. They're super unique. I bought some. I fished with them and was like, holy cow. Yes, I love them. They're great. They're fantastic. I still have a bunch of them. That's the kind of guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I really believed in his product.
And there's a lot of companies out there.
Yeah.
A lot of companies.
So, and that was 3-4 years ago. And I still talk to Jeff to this day. And the guy can't tie fast enough.
Yeah. And go to the sports shows. I mean, we talked about it earlier. There's all kinds of people there looking sell their product, looking for
to sell,
people.
they need help.
You might not get, $1,000 worth of product for free. You might get 10% off of something, but 10% off on stuff that you're going to use anyway. I mean,
it's a deal.
Exactly.
So speaking of discounts, so you're another guest coming in. So you're going to donate Fish Addictions
apparel to the store, $50 gift certificate.
$50. That's almost beating Mike.
I'm going to go ahead and get in on that drawing.
Yeah, I'm going to get on it too because I got some stuff. By the way, this new Fish Addictions fluffy bouncer hat, awesome. Fish Addictions sweatshirt that you got. Fish Addictions hat that you got.
I got the older one.
You got the older sweatshirt. Yeah. But I mean, so message Broken Line Podcast Anthony 50, since we got Anthony 50 gift card, and you'll be in the drawing for a $50 gift card to Fish Addictions gift card. Awesome. Thank you for donating such an awesome thing.
We just want to get the name out there, man. We want you to rock the Fish Addiction stuff. We want you to send us content.
And the good thing is like, if you are addicted to fishing and you love fishing, this is your outlet, Fish Addictions, to represent something you believe in. And you're like, oh, man, I've never seen the show, but I'm addicted to fishing. I love it. I'm a representative. Even if you have watched the show, represent. And it only helps us benefit and better ourselves to the next location we're going to or the next shoot we have to, because we spend a lot of money, providing different content to different locations to put the episode out there. And yeah, exactly. We want content from you guys. We want, even if people are sending us photos.
Right. We can't do it without the fans. Our sponsors can't do it without the fans. I mean, none of it happens without our fans. I mean, if there wasn't people that didn't follow us, didn't like what we were doing, I mean, we wouldn't be sitting here today talking about it. So, I mean, it all starts with the fans. I mean, I was a fan of Fish Addictions before I even got involved with Fish Addictions.
We talked about the St. Paul Ice Show. We talked about, the people that were coming up, and they're like, oh, my God, I love the show. What's your favorite part of it? And this one guy's like, I love fucking everything. And I absolutely love that comment. I swore there, but I love that comment that he said, I love everything. We're like, well, what do you love? And he's like, everything. But he swore in it, like I just said in a second there. But, that's a cool thing that we have people out there that support, because we wouldn't have the show without the fans. And the love we provide content to help the fans, and the fans support us to help us, and that's awesome.
We just got done talking about some pretty intense stuff. I just want to, I know, you just came off the ice a few hours ago. You were out there tooling around with old Crafty.
Yeah, Craft and I.
I want to hear that story. I want to hear a fishing story because, I'm just information overload. I just want to relax and I want to hear a fishing
Northern Minnesota, panfish bluegills.
Yeah, we were going for crappies and bluegills. We drilled probably.
How many lakes did you go to before you found the lake you were fishing?
Well, we fished 3 different lakes. First lake was a bust. We went there on some intel, just trying to find a bite. Nothing was there. We drilled 100 holes, didn't find anything. Next lake drilled probably 75 holes in one spot, moved to another spot, drilled another 100 holes. I mean, it was a tough day. We got beat up, and we could have easily quit and went and had a few beverages and relaxed, but we were like, let's hit one more lake. Let's try this spot. And, we got out there and we drilled a few holes, found kind of a depth that we liked, and still we were just catching these little perch and weren't finding any bluegills, no crappies. So we kept drilling holes, and it was a struggle today. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. We drilled a lot of holes. We didn't find what we were looking for, and towards the end of the day, we stuck with it. I think Kraft was the first one to catch a bluegill, and we're like, sweet, we maybe found a little something here. So we drilled a few more holes, and I caught a couple, and before we knew it, we probably caught 40, 50 bluegills. Nothing giant, but being able to stick it out and put a few fish on the ice. We wanted to have a few for a fish fry. Obviously, you're always trying to catch the biggest, baddest fish in the lake, but
right.
I'm real, man. It doesn't happen that all the time.
So what was the
today was a grind? Huh?
It was a grinder.
What was the structure? What was the ice quality? What was it? How thick was the ice? What kind of lake were you fishing? Were you fishing a basin?
Nutshell, he wants a fishing report.
Yeah, fishing
report.
report was the ice is good in the Bemidji area for foot travel, snowmobiles, ATVs. We took 4-wheelers out. We had 8 to probably.
I did see the 4-wheelers in the photos, and I was like, oh man, hopefully they're doing good.
Yeah, no, there was 8 to probably even 12 inches in some places. So, I mean, I would say probably 10 was the average that we found. But we had good hard ice. I mean, the temps are finally cold now and staying consistent. We were kind of targeting the basin areas because that's where, some of the fish had been caught this fall, and we were hoping maybe they were still there. And they weren't. Obviously, they either moved to a different basin or, moved back into the weeds or something. We just struck out, and we ended up finding fish kind of on a weed break line. We kind of gave up the basin program on the first 2 lakes and thought we better try something a little bit different. So
what was the depth? Or if you didn't already say that, sorry. What was the depth? What were you jigging? What were you using?
The basins that we targeted were deep 30+ foot basins.
So you were purposely targeting like the crappie type depths.
Yep. So we tried that first, didn't work, and then we tried to find a weed edge. We were in anywhere from 8 to 16 feet of water. You can use your graph and see where the weeds are, and then there's no weeds, and we were trying to find that edge. And I think the average of kind of where that edge was for us was like 12 feet. And what worked for us was small tungsten jigs and small plastics. I mean, we tried aggressive baits. We tried rattle
colors?
Baits. What's that?
Specific colors?
White.
That's always a good color.
Yeah, white's always one of my go-tos. If it doesn't work, I find myself, I always have a white tungsten jig on. I can always change the plastic to give a little bit different color, but I went with white today, and we ended up catching some fish on it. And it seemed like you had to have, to catch the bluegills that we were catching, it had to be the right small. I mean, them bluegills, they're finicky. I mean,
yep.
It doesn't. You could have the wrong size line on some days, and they won't bite. And it seemed like the bigger tungstens, they didn't really want that. It had to be a small tungsten and a small profile plastic. It couldn't be a big one. So, I mean, being able to grind it out, kind of put something together at the last minute, it kind of salvaged the day a little bit for us. But it was a grinder out there.
Yeah. And that's the fun part about fishing. You figured it out there last minute, but that may not be the case tomorrow.
Oh, it makes it so much more worth it. I mean, we could have went to the second lake and crushed it, and it would have been still a great day, but when you grind those days and it's not, you don't.
It's just a little bit more satisfying,
right? A little bit more the next time when you crush it, and we had a great day. I mean, we caught bluegill, crappie, rock bass, perch, northern walleye, a whitefish.
Holy cow!
A largemouth bass.
Whitefish.
Yeah, like
you got the buffet.
Yeah, we caught pretty much everything. Yeah, it was crazy.
This is the off-camera.
Yeah,
whitefish.
it was probably a 3-4 pound whitefish.
Super fun though, right?
Oh, on a crappie rod. I mean,
yeah. Oh god.
Yeah. So I mean, we had a lot of multi-species, but it was a good day.
For me, I think that's why I'm addicted to ice fishing. You set the hook on, and you're running like 2-3 pound mono. You got a panfish rod. Everything feels huge. You literally don't know until it's up in the hole. Where like in the open water, you're like, oh yeah, I saw it. It's 10 yards away. I just seen it. I know what it is.
Came up to walleye.
But ice fishing, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is until oh my god,
It could be a 4 pound northern. It could be a 10 pound walleye. It could be a
2 pound bluegill.
4 pound whitefish.
4 pound whitefish.
But my best is because Anthony knows as well as everybody else. I like the rough stuff. The rough
non-target
the rough fish, not the rough stuff.
Non-target.
Non-target. And I've been with a lot of people that are, oh my god, oh they're happy, and then it's not a walleye, it's a big rock bass. And they're like, oh.
But you're over there like
what?
It's a rock bass.
What do you mean? You were just so excited. You were smiling, grinning ear to ear, and now all of a sudden this awful disappointment.
The next time you catch a rock bass, take a picture of it, tag Patrick.
Yes.
And put it on Facebook because he's the rock bass man.
The sheriff.
Rough fish, rock bass, it's all him.
I do like the other stuff. And I do get excited when I catch walleyes and stuff, but just that
and
moment
when people
just
walleye.
that just they get disappointed. Now I don't understand that. Like you were just having a blast.
Every species.
We were fishing episode 1 up here, and which is right around this time this episode comes out, and I don't remember who it was. They caught a rock bass, and you weren't out there. And I was like, keep it. We're having a fish ride. And they're like, are you serious? I was like, maybe it was Jim. I'm like, yeah, keep it. Rock bass. Tastes just like all the other fish. Keep it. We'll cook it. Are you freaking serious? I'm like, yeah, keep it. It's just a rock bass. It's a panfish thing. Right. It's a flatfish, as Stormy would say. It's a rock bass.
Yeah.
What's your favorite fishing and why? You prefer ice fishing? You prefer open fishing? You prefer river fishing, fly fishing?
It's got to be ice fishing for me, just because there's so much other stuff to do in the summer. I mean, I'm so busy with everything else, and fall gets into hunting, so it's hard to really enjoy the fall fishing, which I do really love. But ice fishing, there's only so much you can do in the wintertime. You can either sit inside and stay warm, or you can
run and
go bust it on the lake and have fun out there. But ice fishing is my favorite. Walleyes have always... I mean, that's what I started fishing for, was walleyes, and I always loved...
Next question, what's your favorite fish?
I love catching big walleyes, but, man...
Like them Winnipeg greenbacks?
Yeah, Winnipeg greenbacks, those will spoil you, but so will the Northwest Anglo crappies. I mean, they're so much fun to catch, too. I mean, walleye, you're fishing, you have a fish come in, you mark it, you might catch it, you might not, but crappies, I mean, there's times when there's 4 or 5 of them down just there, and they're firing up and they're coming at...
Christmas tree. How about when you're catching a walleye in Lake Winnipeg, and then you're reeling it in, you flip the house open, and you lose the fish, and then you jump up and down.
You throw a hissy fit,
you throw a hissy fit.
Yeah, it's...
If you haven't seen that, that's in the Winnipeg episode from
there's
season
some
2.
outtakes there. I mean... It's real. I mean, when we're fishing, we're always trying to get it on top of the ice. I mean, I know we talked about it before, but you remember the fish that you lose probably better than the ones that you caught. I mean, it's the fish that got away. I mean, he knows all too well from his story that he told in one of the first podcasts. I mean,
the one that got away.
The one that got away.
Which you're writing the story on, right?
Well, it got published.
Oh, there you go.
So, I mean, it's... Whether you catch it or not, there's always a story to tell. It's fun.
Well, if you want to watch any of Anthony in action, Season 1 and Season 2 of Fish Addictions TV on YouTube, and of course Season 3 comes out
January 7th.
We've said 6, but January 7th, 10:30, Fox Sports North, Fox Sports Wisconsin, Season 3, 17 brand new episodes. Episode 1, you're for sure in. And then we're just going to go from there and see where it goes off. But, yeah, there's Winnipeg episodes that you're in, all kinds of stuff where you can see you hissy fit, a walleye, and all kinds of stuff that
it paid fun. Off, though. I still stuck with it and caught some really nice fish. I mean,
it's Winnipeg. Come on.
It's Winnipeg.
So, mini speed round, meaning we have 5 or 6 questions. They're just one-word answers, and they're very stupid and random questions. So, if you want to ask them a couple of them.
Hulu or Netflix?
Neither.
What? Cable?
I've got
YouTube?
Dish.
He's a corded guy.
Oh,
we've never. These guys are rare. No, these corded guys.
But I'll watch YouTube while I'm watching satellite TV. So
he's like on the phone while he's got cable up there. He's watching back.
Yeah, we haven't cut the cable yet. I'd really like to, but
I mean, you don't have Hulu and Netflix?
No.
Whoa, that is a rare person.
That's
it's not too often to find someone who doesn't have Hulu or
He's like
Netflix.
a unicorn. We should trap him and study him.
All right, let's.
I don't have enough time the way it is. So
this is a slight question that you asked us to ask, which last episode, which you haven't seen yet, is we asked this question, but you can ask this one.
Your top fishing shows that you watch.
YouTube, TV, what is it? What do you watch? What's your top 3? And why?
Top 3 and why? That's a tough one.
We said last episode what our top 3 was.
Right. I would say top 3 in no particular order. Uncut angling, because Aaron Weeb is just, you never know what he's going to do next. Yeah. I mean, his latest video, he comes out and he's got a knife in his hand. He said, "Did you miss me?" Like,
I haven't seen that episode.
I haven't either.
It's a giveaway. Yeah, you'll just have to pull
that must have just came out recently.
Yeah.
Did you miss me? Yeah, it's been only, I don't know, a month and a half since we've seen that.
Yeah, so I love Aaron Weeb. I've really followed a lot of the Guggen Squad.
Guggen Squad, yeah.
They've got some crazy stuff that they do. They're always fishing. They're always doing something unique. I mean,
and that's YouTube.
Yeah, that's YouTube. And I follow, some of the great shows on Fox Sports North. I mean, Angling Edge, Fish Addictions, In-Depth Outdoors. I mean, we're always watching all the shows. We're trying to figure out what everybody's doing. Can we do it better? What did they do that we'd like to do? Yeah. I mean, the only way that anybody gets better is by watching everybody else. So,
is there any specific things that you listen to for outdoor podcasts, maybe? Fishing, hunting.
Besides the broken line?
I know. What the heck?
And it's okay to
say
one
of
music.
The questions you asked us was to ask what other people watch and listen. So listening,
there's so much great content out there. I find myself usually trying to figure out what I'm going to listen to next. But, I know Patrick's mentioned it before, Steve Rinella's Meat Eater. That's a great podcast. I like listening to Joe Rogan. He's got a great podcast. I mean, there's so many great ones out there. I probably spend more time watching YouTube videos than I care to admit. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there that put out great content. I mean, I followed Jay before. I don't even think he was doing vlogs yet, and I was following his page because he had some great content, and he was a great guest on your guys' podcast.
You have some young kids, right?
Yep.
I will give you a tip, and this is great family fun. I got him watching it. Good Mythical Morning on YouTube. Check it out.
Yep, it's a great show.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, they're good.
It's just fun.
Yeah,
those guys enjoy that show.
Yeah, I've watched that for quite a while too. I haven't watched one recently, but
Rhett and Link,
yeah.
Yeah, they do some pretty off-the-wall stuff.
Apple or Windows?
Windows.
Gross.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the show. And I'm just kidding.
What's your favorite? What's your latest favorite movie to watch? And this is just, I'm not even reading anything. I'm just off the top of my head. What's your
recent movie?
'Cause I'm guessing it's kids movie.
No.
Did you watch Trolls Holiday?
Yeah, I did. I was
Holiday,
bummed.
but I've seen the Trolls.
It sucks. Did you watch Trolls Holiday?
What is it, 20 minutes?
20 minutes. Don't give me this over there. We got another guy over in the corner giving me one of these.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That sounds weird in itself. We got another guy over in the corner. We just feed him granola bars.
Yeah. You watched the original Trolls, which, again, the new Trolls was coming out 2018, but this was a holiday special, and it was like why would you try to throw that bonus in there?
Right.
We watch Trolls with Oliver like pretty much daily.
Ellen saw it on Netflix and was all excited. I said, "Go ahead and watch it." Literally 20 minutes later, she's like, "Dad, the movie's over." She was like bummed.
We watched it on Apple TV and paid the $5 to rent it when it first came out.
Windows doesn't have one of those, by the way. So.
Yeah, we paid the $5, and
That's why I don't have Netflix.
The reason the reason why I rented it is because it said an hour and 30 minutes long. So I was thinking, okay, I know the ABC special on TV was like 28, 22 minutes, which is an average 30-minute show with commercials. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is the real full movie. It's longer. So we sit there watching it. And I actually want to watch it because I rented it, and I know I'm only going to get 24 hours to watch it. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, yep. They're dancing, throwing, stardust into people's faces. And there's actually a few pieces of the movie which incorporate, I feel like, drugs from an adult version, which is a little bit weird. And if you haven't seen it, watch it. And then all of a sudden it's done in 22 minutes. And then for the next hour and 10 minutes is the home, alien character from the movie.
Oh.
But it's an animated version of that for the next hour and 10 minutes. And I just skip. I'm like, we're not watching that. Oh, we're here for the Trolls,
Movie.
Yeah.
Oof. I don't have enough time to watch movies, but
one of those guys.
Yeah. I did really like the movie The Accountant because that's what I do for a living. So
I did watch that one.
When the trailer for the movie The Accountant came out, I sent it to my wife and I said, "Hey, they finally made a movie about my life." And she's like, "Oh, did you cast Ben Affleck to be you?" And I said, "No, Mark Wahlberg was busy."
And then you looked at your wife and you said, "Tonight I'm making quesadillas and we're gonna watch this."
Yeah.
For the people that don't know, we did a podcast back in the day when we talked about the quesadilla sauce.
Yeah.
How have your quesadillas been since you've found out that there is a Taco Bell quesadilla? It's not the same, huh?
It's not the same. It's close, but it's...
Do you think they changed up the secret ingredient for the bottle?
I don't know. I tweaked it a little bit, added a little more sour cream, and it helped a little bit. Threw in a little salsa, but...
Unreal.
And maybe it's just because when you go to Taco Bell, you're so excited for a quesadilla that it just tastes that much better, and you didn't have to make it yourself. I mean, anything you didn't make yourself usually tastes better.
Something about the Taco Bell quesadilla, man.
Right?
Man, I'm sorry for the disappointment, dude. I just totally felt that through your answer.
It did, yeah. I thought it was going to be life-changing.
Well, I guess you can go spend $3 at Taco Bell then and get yourself a Taco Bell.
Well, no, $3 for a bottle of the sauce. I'll still make my own, but... It's still pretty good.
Do you think, I got a visor from Taco Bell. Do you think we can get him a
Okay, so
bag?
we went to Taco Bell today, and the same person we got the Taco Bell visor from had a Taco Bell team jacket on, like one of them like $70 jackets, nice. We roll up to the thing and crank down the window. He's like, "Hey, how can I help you?" And Haley's good friends with this guy. That's how we got the visor. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "Can I get because I wanted to try those taquito things, things you can get at a gas station." So I mentioned can I get 4 taquitos? And he's like, "Yeah, is that all?" And I was like, "Yeah, can I also get a Taco Bell team member jacket?" He said, "No, dude, this is $70. I was like, "Do you think I could get an application and then work like a day, get that jacket, and then call it quits?" He's like, "No, but I can give you an application," like in a joking way. We get up there, we open up the bag, we drive off. We ended up going to a parking lot to eat because we're ghetto like that. Because I was waiting for a photo shoot to happen for Visit Bemidji, and I open it up. And there's a freaking application sitting in the bag, and I just pulled it out, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" He tried to get me real quick on an application. I was like, "I just want one of those jackets."
I wore that visor in the store accidentally. I think it was like Thursday or Friday or something like that, and didn't even realize I had it on.
Well, you worked with it the other day,
huh?
Is that what you're talking about? You working?
Yeah,
because you had it 2 days ago. You wore it to work.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I walked in. I forgot I had it on. I walk into Taco Bell, Millennium, and I order it, and this dude goes, "Hey, man, nice visor." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, thanks. I got it from a friend." "Oh, okay. What did it happen to be Haley?" And I didn't want to get anybody in trouble. It's like, no, a friend of mine in the city, her name is Emily. I just came from the St. Paul Ice Show last weekend. Oh, I thought it could have been my friend Haley. She asked me for a visor. and
Because
I,
they
like,
probably don't give out the visors.
Right,
It's
so I
probably
was
that
like-
same dude that gave her the visor.
I had to quickly cut
He's
Emily.
like, that's the 2017-2018 visor from Taco Bell. I think that looks familiar.
I said I've always wanted one. They look really cool, and I'm a
and
big
like from the
fan. Oh, I
cities.
know you're a big fan. You're in here
Taco
every
Bell
morning.
super fan.
Yeah. But what do you? We're almost to the end. What do you like about the Broken Line? What's your favorite thing? We're starting to ask people this because we'd like to know from your perspective. What do you like about the Broken Line?
I just like that it's more fishing that I get to listen to. I mean, I really like you guys' guests that you've had on. It's always people that I'm more interested in learning more about.
We talked last podcast that we turned down you. We turned down Durham, and we have Chip Lear. We have Hawthorne.
Bunch of dudes.
We got
come.
like
The
10
Beef.
people on the list. Beef.
Yeah.
We got like 10 people that are like, yep, let's get in there. We're like, we need to get some single podcasts done
Just
before.
the two
So
of us.
it's crazy the influx of the staff members.
People love it.
It's fun.
I'm happy, man.
Yeah, no.
Did you have fun?
I had a great time.
Did you know how long do you think we've been talking?
Only because I seen you look at your phone probably an hour.
Yeah, we've been at about an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And time flies, right?
No, it's a good time.
Yeah, besides that, I mean, I'm glad you had fun. It was awesome. I wanted to talk. I know we want you back, right? We want you back in another
for
podcast
sure.
to talk about different things in the ice fishing, open water, all this stuff. But I wanted to have you talk, and we did talk a lot about your social media with a company and your pro staffing because we've had a lot of people ask about it. So sorry if that's not what you want to talk about, but we've had so many people ask us about that realm that from someone that's in that realm, it was cool to talk about and to help some of these people that are literally like asking us and messaging us 6 or 7 different ways from Snapchat to Instagram to Facebook. How do I become a staffer? How do I become a social media guru? How do I become you? And that's why some of the questions were based on
and I have
that.
no problem helping people out. I mean, I was in the same shoes 4 or 5 years ago, just
I
looking
tell
how
people
do I
it's
get
not going to
involved.
take. It's not going to take half a year. It's going
Right.
to take more than a year. For
It's
you
going to
to
take
get
some
where you wanna
time.
be.
You're going to have to do some work. You might not feel like you're
This
ever
is a
going to get
job.
anywhere, but you're going to get an opportunity if you put in the work.
Absolutely. So, do you know how to do our ending?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
Because you've watched enough.
I've
Broken
watched
Line.
them all.
So, we'll get there in a second. For sure, social media, Fish Addictions TV, Broken Line Podcast, Facebook. Message us for the code to get your giveaway. Snapchat, which you kind of threw out there last episode because you wanted people. He gave his personal Snapchat because he wanted to like test it to get better at Snapchat, all this good stuff. But
I haven't gotten anything.
you will soon. But yeah, jeez Louise. iTunes, Google Play Store, Stitcher, YouTube, the whole works. Broken Line Podcast. Hit us up, like us, share us. If you have any questions for Anthony, send us a Facebook message because he does do our social media. He can answer on the Facebook page, as well as if you have any questions for us, we can push it towards him, etc.
Absolutely.
I really think we need to land somewhere on that content creator for fans for fishing
Fan
reports.
reports, yeah.
I think we just hit something, and we need to rock that out. Besides that, I'm Aaron,
I'm Patrick.
I'm Anthony.
and this is
The Broken Line.
good job, Anthony.
I mixed it up there.
Thank you for listening to Broken Line Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.